Bonjour à tous, hello everyone, welcome back to Mac Island. This is Mac Plays on Mac, and this is episode number 13. So just a quick reminder, last episode we worked a bit on our farm. We expanded them and also we tried to rework them to make sure they look a bit more realistic. That's an ongoing process that we're gonna work again during the next episode. We also created a new medical campus, and we worked on the first step of the densification of Broadway Avenue, which is something that we're gonna work again on this episode. And it's actually likely not going to be the last episode we're going to work on it because this densification takes a lot of time. The other part is we are actually adding an airport to our community. It's going to be a small regional airport, and this airport of course is going to come with its own little neighborhood with hotels and businesses. And we're going to add also a costume train station to it to make a direct access to the center of the city. Alright, let's go! So before we jump into it, I actually wanted to share with you the list of mods I was using during this build. And I want to thank all of the modders for their tremendous work in making this game amazing. Seriously guys. TW, Sully, Yan Yang, Algernon, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. None of this will be doable without their help, without all of their hard work. Literally, they even came up with some amazing stuff that we're gonna talk about more during this episode. This is truly game changing, and I actually think they might have saved Cities Skyline II. We are going to start this episode by increasing the densification of our Broadway Avenue area. So it's true that our island, Little Island, is just running out of place, and we've known that for a while. I've been talking about it all the time. So the point is we need to increase the densification, and that's great because it helps us to rework some of the different corridors. It adds some nice feature, and also because the game itself is improved, so much more customization, like everything is just not the same as what it used to be 3 months ago when I started recording this series. We now have access to so many tools like this asset over there, which help me to customize the roundabout and create fountains or tree in the middle of them. This is pretty cool, and I'm using this over there just to make it more unique. So this block over there was perfect for repurposing. It was just a bunch of single story building, and I think we can make it much more dense by rezoning the different area with mixed zoning and also high density zoning. I don't want to plop my whole city, so I'm still growing some building even if we have the tool to plop everything we want, but I still want to control the outlook. And for this, when I first make them a bit too big, the building were going to go very high and they were not going to fit into the area. So therefore I had to remove some of the cells, and now it looks like the height is going to be much more adequate to the area. And then I'm plopping some of over there, especially because it's a very odd angle. So let's see what we're going to come up with. And so far I actually like a lot what I see. Perfect. So now we're going to do the same with a different building block on the south, and we're actually going to plop this whole block over here. It's crazy how Anarchy, plops a gray ball, all of these mods just make your life so much easier, and it brings your creativity there. Like all of these buildings now, I want them to be just seen as a one building, so that's why I'm gonna make sure they're as close as tight possible. And then we're gonna be able to landscape the whole area and make it just as a whole, like if it was all meant to be together. Just like this building over there fitting there, I'm just gonna make sure I can see all of the windows perfect, just like this, and it's literally ideal. So on the adjacent block, we are again going to do the same. We're going to keep that parking lot, and we're going to make some first building facing it like this, and then we're going to add some complexity. I am just still looking through all of the building until I find what I want, and I actually do think that this is very cool. It's like one developer bought the whole block of land and just decided to go with that kind of design, and honestly it looks very good. As you can see, I'm still discovering the building. As I mentioned earlier, it's very hard to know all of the possibility we have. There is not so many buildings, but it's still fairly new, and thankfully I can see all of the building, what they look like, because of the asset icon mod. So the idea is to use all of this courtyard to put different uses. So we're gonna have some that are gonna be park, some are gonna be amenities like pools and pool on a different one, and we're gonna have fountain as well, and everything needs to be walkable. So we give these actual pathways that people can see, can walk on. I'm not gonna use any invisible here just because I don't feel like we need to. So I want to put a swimming pool right there, and we're gonna put a bigger swimming pool area right there with 2 hot tubs. They're technically not hot tub, but I need hot tubs. They are round, they are smaller than the actual pool, so it works for me. Anyway, so we're gonna change the surface over there. We're gonna have some palm trees all around to make it look like dreamy and resorty. We're gonna add some planters all around as well, and this is gonna be the bathhouse where people can change and go to the bathroom, because I couldn't find a building that I like to be like a clubhouse. We're gonna put benches and tables with different set of chairs just to make sure that people can hang out here, and also a fence because the street is right next to it. We're gonna actually double fence it all around so there is more privacy for the users of the pool over the street. And here in this courtyard, we're gonna add benches all around so people just come here and relax. We're gonna do the same in this one and in this one as well with a couple fountains. I'm also gonna add a fountain on the side of that pool over there, and we're gonna actually add fences, not the same kind. This one are just gonna be smaller, and we are gonna create an area as well. So one sad thing about both of this pool, or at least this one mostly, it's always in the shade, and I know that sucks, but that do happen though. I used to live in Miami, and I can tell you that some pool over there never sees the sunlight. Now we're gonna detail that corner over there. We made the gas station a bit more owning the corner, and we are also gonna add some landscaping. Concerning this gas station, I feel like this only one was too small. I wanted to make it fit this area, so I made a bigger one, and I also added an extra building. I removed the surface, and also because of the update on the bulldozer, I can now remove sub-building, meaning that if there is a piece of a building that I don't like, I can just remove it. It's just an amazing new feature. Part of our densification project is to remove some of the parking lot and to add towers on top of them. It creates a more friendly and walkable environment. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to remove all of the parking lot, it's just we're going to try to make them bigger in terms of stories or underground parking lot, but not just a flat lot. This is just a lot of waste of space, especially on an island like this. After a quick look at our public transportation network, I saw that one of our bus line was not replaced with a tram line. So we are going to build that one right now, and it's going to connect this neighborhood south of the train station all the way to the tram hub. Now I just need to connect a little terminus over there so the tram can actually turn around and go back all the way, and here is our line right there. We're gonna actually make it white, this one, just to make sure that it's very visible, but in the future I'm gonna change it to black. I just gonna do that off camera. Now let's take a few seconds to appreciate all of our new tram networks that we developed over the past few episodes. Our little community is getting bigger and bigger. To celebrate this, I wanted to have our own little airport, a regional airport. So first let's unlock it. Let's see how much room it's gonna take. So it's obviously way too big to be on the main island, so we're gonna have it as close as possible, but just on the other side. And here, I don't think I actually had enough land, so I'm gonna make sure that everything is flat like this, and perfect right there, it's gonna fit. That's gonna be amazing like this. It's close enough to the highway, but not too close. And it's also very close from the actual city, the city center. So this roundabout over there is a perfect junction. We are gonna have our traffic going one way like this, and it's gonna help with the flow. Everybody is gonna go the same direction, and they're gonna turn around over there and go back all the way to the roundabout. Perfect. And in the meantime here also we're gonna have some little roads that are gonna go both way, but they're not gonna be for the main traffic. We're gonna have roundabouts there and there just to have a very smooth turnaround if people actually went the wrong way. This power line, which are the main source of power for the city, were actually too close from the airport, meaning that they're going to be an issue for the airport, for the airplane landing and taking off. So I had to divert it to a further away area. We're also going to connect our airport with electricity via local power cable, and we are also going to make sure they have a water access. So what's typically at airport? So they have hotels, gas stations, and that's the first thing we're gonna build. So instead of just finding or playing whack-a-mole, I'm actually gonna plop everything I need over there. I want a couple different gas stations, and I'm gonna make sure there are different sizes, different kind, and we're also gonna have different hotels and some smaller ones, some bigger ones, but also some commercial area that are gonna be helpful as well. Here, this parking lot is gonna connect over there here, and it's gonna help me to add more businesses around. Now that I plopped everything I wanted with this final two building, let's take a quick look with our airport. Alright, it's time to connect it to the outdoor connections. So we're gonna have one in the south, one in the north, and now I'm gonna make sure that all of this space is gonna be well used. I will let all of these grow by themselves because all of the things that I really wanted are there now. So let's take a look at the final look of our airport. And with our first passenger arriving, let's make it more enjoyable and add details. So because of this road over there, I want to make sure there's some security and the noise might be a bit tempered. So we're gonna add trees all around the airport. Now this is interesting. It looks like traffic is building up, and I'm assuming it's because of all of this new building we added downtown. So let's see if it clears. That roundabout is super efficient. Look at that traffic flow. Boom, nothing, everything is back to normal. Let's go back to the airport. So a lot of consideration went through. I tried to bring the tram here, but it didn't make sense. That line, I would have had to create a whole new line. It would have been very confusing and add traffic to that main axle. So I actually decided to go bold and just create my own train station, passenger train station. The best location for this building, of course, is right in front of the airport. So these two giant parking lots, which actually are called very large parking lots, they had to go, unfortunately. And that's what we're gonna have to replace later. But now let's make sure that this connects over there to our main station, and let's make sure before we do anything else that this actually worked. So I'm gonna connect this over there, and we'll see if train actually arrives. In the meantime, we're gonna fix our parking issue by adding some of these assets, which are from the extra parking lot assets. I'm building this pedestrian road all around just to make sure that pedestrian can access this station, and just to see if actually it's gonna work. I'm just saying that because it's my first custom train station in Cities Skyline II, so we'll see how it goes. When I was looking at all of my different options for building, I saw that one, and I was thinking about that new update from Better Bulldozer that allow you to delete everything you don't want from a building itself. So I just wanted to try it out and see if it was gonna fit actually. And I'm moving it and nothing is in it, so it's still perfect, everything holded, and it actually fit perfectly. So I think that's what we're gonna go for. So I just want to make sure everything is aligned, and now I need to delete all of the things I don't want anymore. I'm gonna use an invisible pathway to make sure that the people can go from the line to the upstairs area and go back to the main hall, just like this. They can use everything. So for whatever reason, this is not working perfectly because the people are actually lower, and I think that's because of the pathway I draw earlier, but I'm not so sure yet, and as of now I still hasn't figured out that issue. Alright, so let's delete everything that I don't need anymore. We're gonna change the pathway, the parking over there, and add more pathway to the train station. One big issue on Mac and Move It is there is no page up, page down. So I thankfully have a third-party Mac keyboard that has this. So the thing is, when I'm on my laptop, I cannot do it whatsoever. I tried to change the control, I did everything, it's not working. It was working perfectly on Cities Skyline I, here it's not working anymore. But thankfully, because of that third-party keyboard, there is still this, so I can use it. It's just not ideal. But anyway, let's customize this whole plaza over there. We're gonna add a bunch of tables so people can eat food. They're gonna have some area where they can just hang out. Over there, we're gonna put a gazebo and some park benches. And of course, we're gonna make everything functional by creating parks. Here, I'm gonna add some parking booths over there. And I also have a newsstand area. We're gonna add some drink dispensary as well. So it's amazing to see when a train arrives that everybody actually go through the main hall. I'm very happy to see that the invisible pathway worked perfectly and they're actually at the right level here. I want to make sure that they are protected against the sun, against the bad weather, the rain, whatever it needs to be. And here it is, with this custom-ish train station. The airport is finally connected to the main city. And what a view you can have of the city from the airport. A perfect way to land here. This is it for today. I wanted to thank you for watching, but also I wanted to thank all of the modders for all of the mod and assets that they created. All of this help us to be more creative. Thank you so much. Now let's see what we built today. Encore merci à tous for tuning in today. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. This is Mac Plays on Mac. This was episode 13 and je vous dis à la semaine prochaine. Bye bye.